On the Buses was one of Britain's most beloved sitcoms, delivering laughs with its unforgettable characters and hilarious misadventures. Though the show remains a classic, many of the talented actors who made it so special have sadly passed away. Some lived long and remarkable lives, while others left us too soon under tragic circumstances. In this video, we remember 40 cast members who are no longer with us, celebrating their careers, personal lives, and lasting impact on television history. Join us as we pay tribute to the stars who made On the Buses an iconic comedy. Anna Karen began her role as Olive Rudge in On the Buses in 1969 at the age of 33, bringing to life a character who was often belittled but never lost her sense of resilience. Olive was the unfortunate, dowdy housewife with oversized glasses, a perpetual frown, and a deep longing for love and appreciation. Despite the laughs she provided, Anna's own life was marked by far darker realities. She struggled to escape the typecasting of Olive, and despite sporadic television roles, she spent years largely out of the limelight. Off-screen, her personal life was no less turbulent. She was married to actor Terry Duggan, but their union, though lasting, was plagued with financial troubles and the strain of careers that never quite flourished. Though she had no children, she poured her love into the family she built around her. Tragically, in her later years, she lived a quiet and lonely existence, often overlooked by an industry that had once embraced her. On February 22, 2022, at the age of 85, she died in a devastating house fire.
Well, you've only been married 9 years, haven't you?
Well, as I got older, the skin stretched and it moved and it came round to my stomach.
Must have made a very long journey.
Stephen Lewis first donned the uniform of Inspector Cyril Blakey Blake in 1969 at the age of 43, cementing himself as the grumpy and authoritarian antagonist of the series. With his signature mustache and exasperated exclamation, "I'll get you, Butler," Blakey was the perfect comic foil. While his role brought him lasting recognition, it also ensnared him, making it nearly impossible to escape the image of the cantankerous inspector. Unlike his castmates, he managed to find sporadic work in television, but always as a variation of the same character. His personal life was notably private, yet behind closed doors, he endured loneliness. Never marrying and having no children, he became increasingly reclusive in his later years, watching as old colleagues passed away and the industry he once knew evolved beyond him. His final years were spent in a nursing home, where frailty and dementia took their toll. On August 12, 2015, he passed away at the age of 88 from natural causes.
Fired. Where will that be?
For you two? Tomorrow morning.
Who's going to test us then?
I am.
Bob Grant stepped into the shoes of Jack Harper in 1969 at the age of 37, embodying the quick-witted, womanizing bus conductor whose charm masked a deep-seated desperation. His career, which should have flourished after On the Buses, instead dwindled into disappointment. Though he made numerous attempts to revive his stardom through stage plays and minor TV appearances, he never truly recaptured his former glory. His personal life reflected his struggles. Though married to his loyal wife, Kim, financial ruin and fading opportunities led to severe bouts of depression. As his work offers dried up, he spiraled into despair, feeling abandoned by an industry that had once adored him. His mental health deteriorated to the point where he attempted suicide multiple times before finally succeeding. On November 8, 2003, at the age of 71, he ended his life by carbon monoxide poisoning in his garage.
Path today. Oh, Blakey. Yeah. You never come to the cemetery gates. The only time you come here, mate, is when they cut him in a box.
Reg Varney brought to life the quick-thinking and amiable Stan Butler in 1969 at the age of 53, embodying the everyman bus driver who tried to keep his chaotic home and work life in balance. With his mischievous smile and boyish enthusiasm, Stan was the heart of the show, but Reg's own journey was marked by deep personal sorrow. Before On the Buses, he had been a successful comedian and entertainer, but despite the fame the show brought him, his post-series career quickly declined. He found himself typecast, his early success in comedy offering no solace as new generations of entertainers replaced him. His marriage to Lillian Varney, though enduring, suffered under the weight of his career struggles and eventual withdrawal from public life. In his later years, health complications began to plague him, strokes left him weakened, and he spent his final years in seclusion, his once vibrant presence dimmed by illness. On November 16, 2008, at the age of 92, he succumbed to a chest infection.
Suspected fracture. Placed casualty in comfortable position with injured part well supported. Don't give the...
Doris Hare took over the role of the Butler family's mom in 1969 at the age of 64, embodying the loving yet meddlesome matriarch who sought to keep her dysfunctional household together. With a twinkle in her eye and a voice filled with affection and exasperation, she was the glue of the show, but behind her warm on-screen presence lay a life shaped by personal sacrifice and hardship. A veteran actress of the stage and screen, Doris's career had already spanned decades before On the Buses, yet despite her talent, true stardom always seemed just out of reach. Off-screen, her personal life carried its own burdens. She had married Hugh Roche, but their union was marked by struggles, including financial instability and the demands of an industry that showed little mercy for aging actresses. Her final years were marked by a slow, painful decline, as old age and illness crept in. On May 30, 2000, at the age of 95, she passed away from natural causes.
Yeah, of course she's all right.
I thought she might be having one of her funny turns. What's the matter? What's it for?
Michael Robbins played Arthur Rudge in On the Buses in 1969 at the age of 39, portraying Olive's perpetually miserable, sarcastic, and unambitious husband, who resented both his dead-end job and his stifling home life. Arthur's constant complaints and clashes with Olive provided much of the show's humor, but behind the scenes, Robbins struggled with the weight of being typecast. Despite a respectable acting career in television and film, he found it difficult to secure leading roles, which led to frustration and financial strain. He married actress Hal Dyer, and though their marriage lasted, the absence of children left a void in his life. In his later years, Robbins endured severe health issues, battling prostate cancer that gradually stripped him of his strength. By the end, he was a shadow of the witty man he once was, his final days marked by increasing isolation and pain. He passed away on December 11, 1992, at the age of 62, his once sharp humor replaced by the quiet acceptance of his fate.
I do carry vast quantities of inflammable fuel.
Yeah. Well, as it so happens, Mr. Clever Blunts, I do know how to treat burns.
Oh?
Yeah. You put Marge on them.
Cicely Courtnage played Mum in the first series of On the Buses in 1969 at the age of 76, bringing warmth and motherly authority to the chaotic household before being replaced by Doris Hare. Once a celebrated actress of stage and screen, Courtnage had spent decades in the limelight, yet by the time she joined the show, her career was already fading. Though she enjoyed a long marriage to fellow actor Jack Holbert, their later years were overshadowed by financial troubles, as work became scarce. The decline of her stardom weighed heavily on her, and she struggled with the loneliness that often accompanies the end of a long career. As she aged, severe arthritis left her increasingly immobile, limiting her ability to perform or even enjoy her remaining years. Once adored by audiences, she spent her final days in quiet isolation, her vibrant career a distant memory. She passed away on April 26, 1980, at the age of 87, her name fading from public memory as time moved on without her.
Late, Mum. I'll have to borrow your bike, Olive.
Here, wait a minute. Here's your lunch.
All right.
Here you are. Here's your sandwiches.
Sorry, Mum.
Your bangers.
Yeah.
That's it. And there's your tea.
Right.
Oh,
Terry Duggan played the irate passenger in On the Buses from 1969 at the age of 37, a recurring character known for his frequent outbursts and exasperation at the chaotic bus service. Though Duggan was a talented comedic performer, he struggled to secure steady work, often relying on stand-up comedy to make ends meet. His marriage to actress Anna Karen lasted, but their relationship faced challenges, particularly due to Duggan's struggles with alcohol, which led to financial instability and personal turmoil. As his career waned, he took whatever small roles he could find, but the recognition he once enjoyed slowly faded. In his final years, he suffered from a prolonged illness that left him physically weakened and unable to work, stripping him of the joy he once found in performing. Isolated and in declining health, he passed away on May 1, 2008, at the age of 76, his contributions to British comedy largely forgotten by the time of his death.
Yeah, we'll have this greening.
Well, they're £8.15. Now, would you like a nice seat to go with it?
Oh, doesn't it come with a lit seat?
No, they're an optional extra.
Oh.
Yeah, wood or plastic. Take.
Michael Sherd portrayed the manager in On the Buses in 1973 at 35, embodying the strict, no-nonsense authority figure who frequently clashed with the rebellious bus crew. Though Sherd became a familiar face on British television, often playing stern disciplinarians or villains, he struggled with the frustration of being typecast. Despite appearing in Doctor Who and Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, he never achieved leading man status, which left him feeling underappreciated. His marriage to Rosalind Moyer produced children, but his workaholic tendencies led to long absences that strained family relationships. In later years, as roles became scarcer, he battled depression and a growing sense of irrelevance in the industry he had devoted his life to. His final battle was with cancer, which ravaged his body and left him a frail, weakened version of his once commanding presence. He passed away on August 31, 2005, at the age of 67, feeling forgotten by the industry he had served for decades.
Nearly wrong in the all 15 years that I've been here.
I have taken that into consideration.
Oh, you have? Well, I've been a good worker, as Mr. Blake here will tell you.
Larry Martin played Fred in 1973 at the age of 39, a minor yet memorable character within the On the Buses universe. His natural comedic timing made him a welcome addition to the show, yet his role was fleeting, mirroring the transient nature of his career. While he found occasional work in British television, Martin never achieved lasting stardom, leading to financial difficulties and professional frustration. His personal life was equally tumultuous. He married young, but the relationship was plagued by arguments and infidelities, eventually ending in a bitter divorce. He had children, but estrangement and the demands of his struggling career created a chasm between him and his family. In his final years, Martin's health deteriorated rapidly, and he suffered from undisclosed medical issues that left him in constant pain. On August 7, 1994, at the age of 60, he passed away under circumstances that remain unclear.
Well, of course, the chairman of the National Bus Company didn't feel the necessity to consult you, Arthur.
Look, I'm the shop steward, ain't I?
Yes, well, if you'd have been at the union meeting here last week, you'd have heard all about it, wouldn't you?
Norman Mitchell took on the role of Nobbies in On the Buses in 1970, at the age of 52. Though his character was a minor one, he provided a touch of light-hearted comedy to the show with his bumbling yet endearing personality. His career was one of relentless toil, with dozens of minor parts but no true breakout role, leaving him in a state of perpetual financial instability. Off-screen, his personal life mirrored the struggles of his career. His marriage to Pauline, though lasting, was filled with hardship, financial strain, and long periods of separation due to work commitments. The couple had one son, Christopher, but the family bond was weak, strained by Mitchell's absence and emotional distance. In his later years, he suffered from the devastating effects of dementia, slowly losing his identity and connection to the world around him. His final days were marked by solitude, as he passed away on March 19, 2001, at the age of 82, from natural causes.
If the governor can have the paint, I'll have his secretary.
Say something like that, mate.
Nobby, do you fancy a cup?
Pat Ashton stepped into the role of Doreen in On the Buses in 1971, at 40 years old. Her character was a lively, flirtatious woman who injected energy and humor into the show. However, in real life, Ashton faced a far less cheerful reality. While she gained some recognition through comedic roles, she never escaped the shadow of being a supporting actress, often overlooked for leading parts. Her personal life was equally challenging. She never found lasting love, enduring a string of failed relationships that left her disillusioned and heartbroken. Though she had no children, she longed for a family, a void that deepened as she aged. Later in life, she suffered from financial insecurity, as acting work dried up and she was forced to take on menial jobs to survive. The final blow came in the form of illness. Cancer ravaged her body, and she spent her last months in pain, largely forgotten by the industry she had given her life to. She died on June 23, 2013, at the age of 82.
Into that picture, they won't disturb us.
Very romantic, I must say. I should have gone straight home from the pub.
Well, I don't see what's wrong with it in here. It's quite cosy, and it's a nice soft armchair.
Wendy Richard played Elsie in On the Buses in 1971, at just 28 years old, bringing warmth and charm to the show. She would go on to achieve major fame in Are You Being Served? and EastEnders, but her personal life was a tragic cycle of toxic relationships and heartbreak. She married 4 times, with her early marriages ending in disaster. Her second husband was abusive, leaving her emotionally scarred. Despite her success, she struggled with deep-seated insecurities, exacerbated by public scrutiny. Her greatest battle came later in life when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Though she fought bravely, the disease returned aggressively, and the treatment took a devastating toll. In her final days, she was frail, weak, and facing the reality of an inevitable fate. She died on February 26, 2009, at the age of 65, after a long and painful struggle, leaving behind a legacy of brilliance tinged with sorrow.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but have you seen my way bill anywhere?
Yes, I've got it here somewhere.
Oh, it's okay, here it is.
Oh, no.
Oh, Inspector. Oh, see.
Eutha Joyce played Jessie in On the Buses in 1973, at the age of 46, bringing her signature wit and comedic timing to the role. Though she became best known for her later work in Man About the House and George and Mildred, her career was a cruel paradox. She was famous but deeply unhappy. Her marriage to actor Glenn Edwards ended in divorce after years of emotional turmoil and personal struggles. The pain of her failed relationship pushed her into a self-destructive spiral of alcoholism, a disease that consumed her entirely. Despite her cheerful on-screen persona, her real life was plagued by loneliness and self-doubt, as she drowned her sorrows in drink. Her health rapidly deteriorated, but she refused to seek help, unwilling to confront the reality of her addiction. The downward spiral culminated in her death on August 24, 1980, at the age of 53, from liver failure, a tragic end for a woman who had spent her life making others laugh while suffering in silence.
I said.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's his job to keep the employees happy, isn't it?
Yeah, and the union will back you up.
Oh, you think so? Here, who's the shop steward?
He is, love.
Bob Todd portrayed Mr. Simpson in On the Buses in 1973, at the age of 51, embodying the stern and authoritative presence his character demanded. Known for his work with Benny Hill, Todd had a long career in comedy, but behind the scenes, his life was anything but humorous. Struggles with alcohol became a defining issue, leading to erratic behavior and a tarnished reputation in the industry. His personal life was marked by instability, and though he married Monica Todd, their union was turbulent, marred by financial difficulties and his unpredictable mood swings. The pressures of his declining career led him to deeper despair, and he became increasingly withdrawn in his later years. Cancer struck him down in 1992, and with little money and few friends left to support him, his final months were marked by suffering. He died on October 21, 1992, at the age of 69, another actor chewed up and discarded by the relentless nature of show business.
Yes, sir.
I won't. You will. It's hardly the job for an area manager. You made her leave. You find a replacement.
Garfield Morgan played Mr. Stilton in 1972 at 41, portraying a stern, no-nonsense authority figure who frequently clashed with the laid-back bus crew. Best known for his role in The Sweeney, he had a successful yet frustrating career, never quite breaking into major stardom. His personal life was just as troubled. He endured 2 failed marriages, both marred by emotional neglect and infidelity, and his relationship with his only daughter remained strained. Despite being a respected actor, he felt unfulfilled, plagued by self-doubt and the belief that he had never truly reached his potential. Heavy smoking led to lung cancer in his later years, and as his health deteriorated, he became increasingly withdrawn, avoiding public appearances. He passed away on December 5, 2009, at 78, physically ravaged by disease and emotionally worn down by years of regret and solitude.
Blake!
Oh, sir.
Everything's prepared for the medical. Doctors arrived, canteen's ready, there's a list of people for examination.
Oh, easy. Wouldn't fancy the doctor.
Ivor Salter portrayed the policeman in On the Buses in 1973 at age 48, playing a no-nonsense officer who brought an air of authority to the otherwise light-hearted series. Despite a prolific career in British television, he was typecast in minor supporting roles, never achieving widespread recognition. The instability of an acting career placed enormous strain on his marriage, leading to a bitter divorce and estrangement from his 2 children. The separation weighed heavily on him, and as acting jobs dwindled, he found himself struggling financially and emotionally. Once a commanding presence on screen, he became increasingly reclusive in his later years, battling regret over his unfulfilled ambitions. When he passed away on June 21, 1991, at the age of 65 from natural causes, his death went largely unnoticed by the public, a quiet end to a life spent on the fringes of fame.
For a walk in your pyjamas, do you?
Well, it's a bit warm and I'll...
With a saw and a chopper.
No, well, I was just trying to get in, you see.
Trying to break in more like it. All right, come with us.
No, you don't understand. I live here.
Ishak Bucks played Ahmed in 1970 at 53, a small but notable role in On the Buses. Originally from India, he faced years of being typecast in minor roles, struggling against the industry's limitations on South Asian actors. Though he worked consistently, he was never given the respect or recognition he longed for, leaving him embittered. His personal life was equally unfulfilled. He never married, and his few relationships were short-lived, marked by heartbreak and disappointment. As he aged, loneliness consumed him, and he withdrew from the world, spending his later years in near isolation. Diagnosed with lung cancer, likely from years of secondhand smoke on film sets, his health rapidly declined. He died on September 2, 2000, at 83, barely acknowledged by the industry he had spent his life serving, his death a tragic reflection of the obscurity he had fought so hard to escape.
Our little gathering.
Oh, yes.
It's been awkward with that.
Yeah. Well, sorry we're late, Ahmed.
It's all right. I have kept a place for you.
Aubrey Morris played the marriage counselor in On the Buses in 1972 at age 46, portraying a composed and insightful character who sought to mend troubled relationships. Known for his eccentric and theatrical performances, he built a steady career in British film and television, often cast in quirky, unsettling roles. However, despite his talent, he never secured the leading man status he craved, spending decades in the shadows of more prominent actors. His personal life mirrored his professional struggles. Though he married, his relationship lacked warmth, and his relentless dedication to acting left little room for intimacy. Without children, his later years were marked by increasing loneliness, as work offers became scarce and old colleagues drifted away. Health complications forced him into a care home, where he spent his final days largely forgotten. He passed away on July 15, 2015, at the age of 89 from natural causes, his long career reduced to a collection of minor yet memorable roles.
Please listen to me for a moment, Mrs. Butler and Mr. Butler.
Yes, listen to the man.
Yes, you see, I understand your concern, of course.
Kenneth Waller played the busman in 1971 at 44, portraying a quiet yet hard-working depot worker who, much like Waller himself, remained in the background. Though he had a long career in television, he was forever cast in minor roles, never breaking into true stardom. His most notable success came late with Bread, but by then, years of professional struggle had taken a toll. Outside of acting, his life was marked by solitude. He never married, had no children, and spent his later years largely alone. Though respected in the industry, he lacked deep personal connections, and as his health declined, he faded into isolation. His final days were spent in quiet obscurity, with few to mourn his passing. He died on January 28, 2000, at 72, from a brief illness, his departure mirroring the unnoticed nature of his career, a man who spent his life in the shadows, slipping away without fanfare.
Ladies and gentlemen, inspectors and other layabouts, take your partners for another dance.
I've got to get off and dance.
Johnny Briggs stepped into On the Buses in 1972 at the age of 37 as the window cleaner, a smooth-talking, flirtatious character who brought a mischievous charm to the series. His performance was fleeting yet memorable, fitting seamlessly into the show's dynamic humor. However, off-screen, Briggs led a turbulent life. Despite a long and prolific career, including his iconic role in Coronation Street, his personal life was riddled with tragedy. His marriage ended in divorce after years of conflict, exacerbated by his dedication to work and an inability to maintain emotional intimacy. He fathered 6 children, yet his relationship with them was strained. His demanding career left little time for fatherhood, creating a divide that was never truly mended. In his later years, his health deteriorated, and he suffered a long illness that left him physically and emotionally drained. He died on February 28, 2021, at the age of 85.
Let's have a couple of bottles of beer. Come
Right.
on, come on. We haven't done this for years,
It's a long
mate.
time. Yes,
We're going to
yes.
Well, this is nice.
Albert Moses played Alf in 1973 at 36, bringing warmth and humor to the series with his hardworking and friendly character. Born in Sri Lanka, he struggled to gain recognition in the British film industry, often confined to stereotypical roles due to racial biases. Despite appearances in major productions like The Spy Who Loved Me, he never achieved the success he had dreamed of. His arranged marriage lacked love and understanding, and though he had a son, their relationship remained strained, with cultural differences creating a deep divide between them. In his later years, he became increasingly isolated, suffering from depression and chronic health issues that made even daily life a challenge. He passed away on September 15, 2017, at 79, alone in his London home, his dreams of belonging and success unfulfilled, leaving behind a career that never truly gave him the recognition he deserved. Richard Caldecott took on the role of Dr. Clark in 1969 at 61, portraying a wise and authoritative medical professional. Though he had a lengthy career, he was always a character actor, never the leading man. Best known for The Navy Lark, he found moderate success but never achieved widespread fame. His career, while steady, never brought him the recognition he desired, leaving him frustrated with his limited opportunities. His personal life followed a similar pattern of unfulfilled potential. Though married, his relationship lacked warmth, and with no children, he found himself increasingly isolated in old age. As time passed, his name faded from public memory, and he spent his final years in quiet decline, his contributions to the industry largely forgotten. He died on October 16, 1995, at 87, from natural causes, his passing barely acknowledged and ending as quiet as the life he had led. Luann Peters played Joan in 1971 at just 25, bringing glamour and vivacity to her role. She had undeniable screen presence, but her career was plagued by typecasting, often relegated to seductive or superficial roles that overshadowed her acting abilities. Despite notable appearances in Doctor Who and Hammer horror films, she struggled to secure meaningful roles, leaving her disillusioned with the industry. Her personal life was no more stable. Though involved in several relationships, none provided lasting happiness, and she never married or had children. As the years passed, she withdrew from the public eye, her once rising star now a faded memory. She lived out her later years in obscurity, largely forgotten by the industry that had once sought her beauty but never truly valued her talent. She died on December 24, 2017, at 71, with the cause of death undisclosed, leaving an air of mystery and sadness surrounding her final days. Pat Gorman played the policeman outside court in 1973 at 40, a minor role in a career defined by anonymity. Known as one of Britain's most prolific extras, he appeared in countless productions, but his name was rarely credited. Despite working steadily, he never escaped the background, always overshadowed by bigger stars. His personal life mirrored his professional struggles. His marriage, though lasting, lacked deep connection, and his relationship with his children remained distant. As he aged, he faded further into obscurity, his decades of work in television reduced to a mere footnote. His later years were spent in quiet solitude, reflecting on a career that never truly acknowledged his contributions. He passed away on October 9, 2018, at 85, from natural causes, his death as unnoticed as his presence in the industry, forever a face in the background, both in life and in death. Who's your favorite character in On the Buses? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.